First thing I'm going to explain to you guys is this Petestep hull. I have had some experience on the previous SAY and some other brands. It's a really interesting hull form. I'll cover that later on in the video, but it has been designed to get maximum efficiency at 10, 20, 30 and up to 40 knots. So at 8.2, 8.3 tons, this boat is like half the weight of some of her direct competitors. It is so incredibly efficient, and that's what we're going to demonstrate in this video, whilst also giving you some beautiful backgrounds, because we're in Ibiza. Love this place, so how can you not enjoy it? Doing 10 knots, consuming 20 litres per hour. So that's going to be one of the major takeaways, guys. This thing just sips the fuel. Let's get straight up to 20, and then we'll take the boat through some maneuvers, and if I need to concentrate on navigation, I will come back to the fuel flow when we are in clear water. Just rolling up through 1900 revs, approaching 2000 revs, 16 knots and climbing. You'll note that there just basically isn't really any noticeable bow raise on acceleration. We did remove the sun lounge because for short Dan, it was kind of getting in my line of sight. So I would suggest, depending on how tall you are, Diego's with me, bit of a taller bloke, wasn't a problem for him, but it is a problem for me, so I took it off. Sitting on or approaching 20 knots SOG at 2,100 RPM, we're seeing 50 litres consumption, and I might play with the trim as well, and I'll just see if that makes a bit of a difference. Yes, I'm seeing the consumption drop there. We're heading down towards 48. And let's increase the speed. She wants to go faster, but what I like about this design, got some kayakers there. Just watching out for these kayakers because they're kind of right where I need to go. But what I'm going to do is maintain 23 knots, give them somewhat safe clearance, and I'm not actually making many waves on this boat because we are a lightweight, slippery design. So I think we're okay to do that. 22 knots, all clear, great. Let's increase that speed to 25. Okay. Got an island on my left, island on my right, rocks to watch out for. Another rock to go in between, coming through at 27 knots. Just cutting it on the turn down, 2,600 RPM, seeing 75 litres consumption. You can option this with the petrols if you wish. And yeah, no, that might actually be popular in America. Clear on the rock, staying on my tracks, clear. And I got one rock to go wide of, and then we're going to increase speed, talk to you about fuel flow when we have achieved that. Watching the kayakers. She just absolutely slices through the waves. This boat, it's irresistible. It's irresistible to look at, but this is a very enjoyable driving experience. It's also very different because you don't have that weight and displacement that you're possibly used to. Okay, just navigating around this next to final rock, looking around other speedboats who might be closing on me. I've got my eyes on the rock. I'm just going to clear that. And then I'm going to cut in hard and increase speed once I've cleared the rock. And all clear. Increasing speed. Okay, let's sit on 30 knots. That's good. So, 32 knots, 3,050 RPM. I've got 100 litres consumption. Just going to play out my trim a little bit. You really don't actually need to do a lot of trim. There's nothing in the way of zip weights or trim tabs on this hull. It really is the Petestep hull. Power and acceleration, and then you've got your seat keeper for stability. All relevant when you're at rest because we are a lighter weight hull, so that's going to make sense when you want to stop on anchor. But this is an exceptional hull. You can feel the boat just cutting up and chopping up these little waves. Because it's a lighter weight boat, we are relying on design. So if you are in a wave exposed area, this is going to be a great boat to point the nose into the waves and chop the hell of them up, and then drive to the conditions. Because we've got speed, we've got fuel efficiency, you know, we're just sitting on 110 litres at 32 knots on our side. You can do things like pick the leeward side or drive to windward and then run down the leeward side of some, of a bay or a harbour or an island that you're at to get maximum efficiency and comfort. But let's just blow some of that efficiency out of the water and just accelerate because it's fun. Wow, she feels like she's in the groove there at 35 knots. That's quite enjoyable. We've got a good amount of wind over the decks here. Where I am, in this position, the wind is actually above me. If you're a taller bloke, so this is perfect for me, but if you're taller, the wind is going to be in your face. The factory is aware of that, and they're doing some aerodynamic adjustments to cater for the taller blokes. But for me, it's actually fine. This seat electrically goes forward and up. It's got full adjustment. I actually just left it a little bit back because I wanted to see how it would feel from a standing position. And oh man, this thing is really cool. This thing is so cool. Let's accelerate. Oh wow. Okay, this reminds me somewhat like driving some power catamarans. I know that's a strange statement to make, but it's so smooth right now, sitting at 39.5 knots. It actually sort of resembles a high-speed power catamaran. That's interesting. So let's go foot to the floor, a little bit of trim, 39.8, a little bit of trim up, 167 litres, which for a 52-foot boat, that's freaking nothing. That's freaking nothing. I often see fuel flows in some of these boats that I test touching on 500 litres. That's great. So if you care about that, I just see that's an efficiency. It means you do more boating and less visiting the fuel dock. So let's come back to mid-30s. Clear, clear, clear. Okay, trim down, and let's feel like we're in the turn. Legs down, 35 knots. We'll wide turn initially, and then we'll change our angle of attack. Beautiful. Let's hook that in a little bit harder. Wow, she really grips. Okay, so if you're looking for a sporty drive, this thing is absolutely it. Let's just straighten that turn. We'll check location of that sailing yacht there. We're all clear. We'll go through our waves. 3, 2, 1, and smooth as. Again, if you get the angle of attack right, you are going to have a very, very smooth ride. I'm going to go around this sailing yacht, go behind him so we don't freak him out. He's got his spinnaker up, so I just want to be friendly. A couple of waves there. Again, I just straightened up my angle of attack, expose the bow into some of those waves, chop them up, and then back around the turn. Amazing. Okay, we'll just come around this sailing yacht, doing that at 35 knots, 3,300 RPM. This is exquisite. I really like this boat. I really like this boat. Okay, we're going to come around. I can see a little bit of movement. Oh, he's trailing the line in the water. Okay, it's still there. Alright, that's good. Why is he trailing the line behind us? Okay, I had about 100 metres clearance, but still, that makes me nervous. Alright. Yeah, this is a really exceptional boat. You got a little bit of movement with this T-top. I think if you were going to order one of these for Australia, where we do have the big seas, I would just want a carbon fibre support pole there. I think that would look cool. You could make it do it in such a stylish way that it's fun. But if you're looking for something that gives you an immense amount of feedback, incredible efficiency, and it just looks amazing from every angle, this is certainly the boat. This is an impression from every angle. So what we're going to do from here, we're going to buzz over to that island, find some shallow water, and I'm going to play with the maneuverability in the shallow water, and we'll film that. If we can get away with it, we'll do it in the marina as well, but you're kind of not supposed to film drones in most of these marinas around here. So if I can ask forgiveness rather than permission, I'll do it, but if I don't, that's why. and I'll give you my full and final wrap up at the end of this video. Okay, so I've just come to a calm location to trial out the maneuverability of the boat. So we've also got the joystick, we've got twin stern drives, we have a rudder angle indicator right in front of the wheel. That is useful. Okay, can you see when I go wheel over to port, I got this red bar, and then when I go wheel over to starboard, I get a green bar. Super useful if you want to do some side slipping and incorporate it with the bow thruster, which is over here on the, there we go, on the port side of the wheel. Before I start using that, I'm just going to try out some transverse thrusts, and I'll just do one engine forward and one engine aft, and I'll slowly increase my revs. You may find, and it's one of the benefits to be fair with stern drives, that you just do this one engine at a time. So what I have done is centered the wheel, and then I am increasing power ever so slightly, but you'll notice I'm doing that with one hand, not with two. If people who do it with two hands, you'll actually, you'll get a bit of, it's not a good way to drive a twin stick boat, because you really want to do this slow and considered. And if you have two hands and treat it like a video game, we still have engines and gearboxes that need to work and do their thing. So you can see that's pretty moderate rate of turn, not the quickest. I'm now just going to show you another little trick which you might find useful if you're just using throttles and wheel. Obviously we can use the joystick in a second. If this requires a little bit of hand-eye coordination, but if I do wheel down, left engine forward, and then just kick it, can you see the rate of turn? And then if I do wheel opposite other way and right engine reverse, can you see the rate of turn? So you really do have the ability to flick these stern drive boats around as you see fit. And I haven't even used the bow thruster yet. Okay, so that's just a little trick for young players. You've got plenty of maneuverability if you know how to take charge of it. So next thing, if you wanted to side slip the boat again without using the joystick, you can just do wheel over, click in forward, and thrust. That's actually going to put the forward thrust of the motor, and obviously it's trying to turn, but if you complement that with the bow thruster, it'll actually do the job of side slipping the boat. But you got a joystick, so just press it. You got high mode and docking mode, and I'm just going to do some side slipping. This is in essentially low mode, but hopefully you can see I've got plenty of power and control to actually move the boat sideways. All right, and then if I just want to slow that rate of turn down, just remember when you're using your joysticks, you want to come back to the center point in a nice slow manner, just releasing the joystick unless you're using a dock assist, which is a wonderful piece of technology. Get it if you have the option on bigger boats, not necessarily on this boat. You just got to, again, think about the engines jumping in and out of gear. So coming back the other direction, you can see me doing a little bit of joystick input just to keep the boat parallel, and across she goes. And obviously I can select the high mode should I wish. Now I will select high mode, boom, boom, and clear, and I'll just spin the boat around. So a little bit of noise, a little bit of action happening. But you can see she does move. I think you just need to, with this particular hull design, you just need to be aware that she's 52 feet long, and there is a little bit of resistance from this deep V pulling the boat around. So I would be complementing it with the bow thruster, which we will do right now. Okay. Can you see that rate of turn increasing? So that's what the bow thruster's for, guys. Leverage, use it to your favor. So essentially it's a piece of cake. You have lots more maneuverability. You have the option to use your throttles and hand-eye coordination with the wheel. You can always transfer over to the joystick and then complement it with the bow thruster. But because we're in a centre mounted position. I can see the bow. I can reach my midships cleat just here, and I can get to the back of the boat with relative ease because all of my guests are going to be in the middle of the boat. Key point, not all boats are designed that way. I'm going to put this boat in, you know, quite a relatively simple to operate if you know what you're doing. So yes, you can have a good time and enjoy it. Next thing with the anchor operation, it's all done through the dash here. So you essentially open the hatch and then you operate the windlass just here. I would appreciate if there was a little window in the anchor hatch lid so I can see the anchor deploying, but maybe you could also resolve that with a camera one day in the future. Essentially, you just have to trust that it's all happening because you can't see it from the helm. And when we have these beautiful overhead camera systems for parking at the dock, it would be nice to see my windlass as well. But other than that, it works fine. We anchored the boat. It deploys just like a lot of the Mediterranean style day boats. The stainless steel bow roller deploys, and then you release the chain and just get plenty on the bottom, and she holds fine. I hope that was useful, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I certainly did. So we just want to kind of give you a bit of an overall wrap up and an opinion on where this SAY 52 fits in the market and what you should be comparing her to. I'll start off with how she drives. So the Petestep hull has got some similarities to an adventure boat hull. Okay, it is different, but she's very level on takeoff, and she remains quite level. If you're coming from a performance adventure style boat, you will see some similarities, but of course this is in the big luxury med day boat category. This is not an adventure boat. So she's got incredible, nice, smooth, fun feeling. And I'm just looking around me so I'm not actually on anchor. So, but she's still a much, much bigger boat with a lot more capability. So don't put it in the same category. And I'm sorry if I confused you if you thought I was doing that. It's still a big luxury med day boat. What would you compare a boat like this? I've actually listed a bunch, but there's so many more. The Waier 55 HT. I would actually put this in the same category. The Waier is double the weight. Okay, so it is a different boat in many respects, but for the use case, a very, very nice luxury day boat, I can see the similarities. You're obviously going to be a different person looking at that boat and this boat, but if your mission set is a very, very luxury day boat, I can see the similarities. The Centurno Navi, the Vespro 55, that's already on my channel, that is twin jet drive. That is also in a similar category, albeit very different drive system, and so slightly different mission set as well. I see the Wally Power 50. That's a new model from Wally. I see that possibly also meeting a similar need. I can list off about 3 or 4 other boats immediately, but I'll just leave it in that category, and hopefully that has, for those of you who are into your boats, that'll place this boat in the construction category that I'm going to put it. This feels semi-custom. All right, this is not a production mass market, nor will it ever be. This is a super special boat that's semi-custom, that's built to a very, very high quality standard. So if you're wanting to categorize the SAY 52 somewhere, put it in amongst those other 3 that I have already mentioned. And if you want to understand what other boats that I think it could also match up or pair up with quite nicely, chat to me on Manect, because that's where I'm available to talk if you need to ask those sorts of questions. So yeah, again, I hope that was very useful. I hope you enjoyed it. This is probably one of the most beautiful and amazing boats I'm going to have on the channel this year. If I can outdo this in 2025, I'll be surprised. See you in the next one, guys. I'll put some competing boats up on the screen right now, and do your own research. Remember, I'm not selling any of these boats. No one's paying me to say this. Do your own research and work it out for yourself, because there's a boat for everyone. See you next time, guys. Bye.